It's Coast to Coast with Mike, your host. It's the YouTube show that helps you cash in most. His track record's phenom, his cashing rate is the bomb, and it's all brought to you by RacingDudes.com. And now, the host of your show, Mike Somich.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Coast for Saturday, June 16th, 2018. I'm your host, Mike Somich, and before we get into the picks, just wanted to remind everyone to check out RacingDudes.com for the Winning You're In Challenge race previews. We've got the Stephen Foster tonight from Churchill. Should be a great race. Make sure you check that out. But we know why you're here, so without further ado, let's go Coast to Coast.
East Coast.
All right, we're going to start out at the 8th. All right, we're going to kick it off here at Belmont Park. We're going to look at the 8th race. It's a 1 mile event, $77,000 allowance, non-winners of 1 on the turf. So I'm picking this race out because I actually like a couple horses here, but also because these are awesome fun races. Because it's a non-winners of 1, you get horses coming out of claiming, sometimes out of the state bred company. And so you're able to look at back class of horses that may not necessarily stand out right away, but when you look at who they've been running against better, and this is often a class relief for them. So in my mind, one example of that is the 3-horse Lunaire. I'm going to pick Lunaire on top here. I like the fact that Lunaire had a nice 6-furlong race to set up for this race. That was clearly one of those races that's more of a glorified workout than anything else, and I thought that he really came off of that well. I like how he closed into that pace, and I think that today he's going to have quite a bit of pace to close into. For second, I'm going to go to Curlin Rock, right above him, the 2-horse. I love the race 2 and 3 back. I think that the last time out, you didn't get a real great idea of what the horse was like. It was his first time against this level of company, and the Beyer just wasn't where it was before then. So I think that Curlin Rock is going to get back to that original Beyer, and I think that's going to make some noise for him. In the third hole, I'm going to go with Compagno. Compagno's an interesting horse to me. You know, it was in the Belmont barn for its first 5 starts. It improved over that time consistently. So every single race, the Beyer improved. And then it ran once on dirt. And that dirt race, you really have to just throw out. It ran into B Jersey, who is obviously a very, very good dirt horse, going 1 mile. And it was just overmatched. You got Compagno back on turf last time, a $50,000 claimer. Non-winners of 3 lifetime, though. So it was a relatively high-level claimer. Goes out and crushes the field, running a career-best 89 Beyer, going 1 mile on the turf. So I think this is a great spot. I think that you're going to see a really good race from there. I think that the last race is the most likely comparison race versus the ones before it. So I do like Compagno for third, and I'll be using Compagno in my pick 5s as well. For fourth place, I'm going to go to Slot. And this is a little bit of a shot, but one thing that people don't realize about Slot, and that yes, he just broke his maiden, and I don't like horses who often run second, but he's run second to a lot of really good horses. I mean, you've got Tis Mischief, you've got He Take Charge. If you look back, you've got National Flag Engage in the debut. In the second race, Bourbon Resolution, Slot, and then Lionate. Well, Bourbon Resolution's won graded stakes since. Lionate has won multiple times since. And the 4th place horse in that race was actually Hofburg. So he's run against a lot of very good horses in his career without really having a ton of success. Although, you know, he's run 6 times and he's been in the money every single time. So for fourth, I'm going to go with Slot. And the multi-race exotics, I'm going to be playing all 4 of these. So I'll be playing the 2, 3, 6, and 7.
West Coast.
All right, now let's head out to Santa Anita. We're going to take a look at the 3rd race. It's the Rainbow. It's a $100,000 stakes race going 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf. And the reason I picked this race out is because it's a great example of something that I've really started to utilize in my handicapping toolbox, the all button. So it's only 5-horse field, and the reason why I really like the all button here is because you're going to go to the 4-horse River Boyne, and River Boyne is 3 to 5 in the morning line. River Boyne will probably go off less than even money. I'm not saying that River Boyne can't win the race. What I'm saying is that at 3 to 5, it's a very, very bad price here, and it's going to be a heavy single for a lot of people in the pick 5 and pick 4s. So if you're able to beat River Boyne, it's going to add a ton of value. Now, River Boyne's running 86, 85 Beyer, somewhere in that range, going a little bit shorter. So he's never run the 1 mile and 1/8 distance, which I think, first off, is a concern. But if you look at a horse like Arwalk, who had been running on turf, running on dirt, really trying to make a breeder or a Derby campaign until recently, tried the turf last time out and actually beat River Boyne by a length. So right away, you've got a horse who's 3 to 5 who's been beaten by someone in the field. Even bigger than that, you've got some lone speed in here. So the 3-horse, Blame the Rider, is the only horse that wants to go to the front. Blame the Rider's run on turf twice, improved greatly both times off those turf tries, and now it's going to get an easy lone lead. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be within a length and a half of him. So you're going to have to try and catch him coming down here. Finally, I also think Move Over has a very good chance of winning this race. So Move Over, the 2-horse, has improved quite a bit over the last few starts. Just missed to blame the rider, ran against River Boyne a couple times back, and got run off his toes. But that was his worst race that he's run on turf, and I think he's improved quite a bit since then. The other factor of this is that if you're going to play 3, so if you're going to play 3, 4, and 5, you might as well hit the all button because you're adding less than 100% of the value to the ticket. If you have 3 horses in a race versus having 5 horses in a race, your cost doesn't even double. So it's important to kind of find those situations where you have what I'm going to call a bad favorite here in River Boyne at 3 to 5, and at the same time be able to get every horse in the race. So if the one horse, who I don't think really has much of a chance, but I'm still going to play the all button, wins, you get a huge price. You knock a ton of people out of the pick 5. You got a great chance to move on and get a huge score. So if I was going to bet this race, I would actually bet the 3-horse as my first pick, Blame the Rider. I think that he's just going to get an easy lead and going to be able to take him gate to wire. I would go with the 5 Arwalk next. He beat the 4-horse last time out. And I like the fact that he hasn't run a ton of races on the turf. 3 back, like I said, he was running in stakes races that set up for the Derby. So they decided, hey, we're going to try this guy in the Derby trail, see what happens. Didn't work out. They got him over on grass, and he ran very, very well last time. For third, I would go with River Boyne, and then I'll close it out with Move Over. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a great Saturday. Hope all your photo finishes are with you. Don't forget to check out racingdudes.com. Got some pics on the podcast as well. And then, as always, make sure that you follow below here.
Thanks for watching Coast to Coast, brought to you by racingdudes.com. I was your host, Mike Somich. You can follow me on Twitter at Samobomb18, and you can follow the Racing Dudes at racing_dudes. Head over to racingdudes.com for all the latest news, articles, free picks, and premium selections. Don't forget to check out the podcast, Blinkers Off, available twice a week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.